There are places on Earth that feel distant, not only in geography, but in spirit, places that exist on the threshold between the familiar world and something almost mythic. Antarctica is one of those places, a continent so vast, so untouched, and so unlike anything else on the planet that it carries the quiet weight of an ancient secret. Its very existence feels like a reminder that our world is bigger, older, and more mysterious than we often allow ourselves to imagine. When we speak of Antarctica, we speak of extremes, of light and darkness, of silence and roaring storms, of isolation and interconnectedness. Yet in this contrast, in this duality, lies the continent's deepest allure. It invites both curiosity and caution, both wonder and humility, as if whispering that the more we uncover, the more there is to question. In 2025, the world finds itself looking toward Antarctica with renewed interest. New satellite imagery, unprecedented climate shifts, and a growing set of scientific discoveries have brought the continent back into the global conversation. The ice is revealing things it has held in silence for millions of years, and those revelations may reshape not just our understanding of the poles, but of Earth itself. The story of Antarctica today is not just a tale of ice and cold. It is a story about discovery, about mystery, and about the human urge to explore the unknown. It is a narrative woven from threads of science, history, speculation, and awe, a narrative that gently urges us to look a little closer. Antarctica has always existed at the edge of human perception. Long before the continent was officially documented, ancient cultures and early geographers spoke of a land at the bottom of the world, a terra australis incognita, the unknown southern land. For centuries, it remained an idea rather than a place, a distant imagining of balance on a globe, still being understood. The Greeks theorized it. Renaissance cartographers sketched it. Explorers sailed toward it without any guarantee that it existed. And when it was finally confirmed, Antarctica defied expectation by being more immense, more unyielding, and more enigmatic than anyone had imagined. To encounter Antarctica, even through documentary images or satellite views, is to encounter a landscape that seems untouched by time. Its ice sheets stretch farther than the eye can see, creaking and shifting with a language of their own. Mountains rise like frozen cathedrals, carved with precision not by human hands, but by the patient work of wind and snow. Vast deserts of ice lie beneath brilliant skies, where sunlight lasts for months, only to give way to long stretches of unbroken night. This duality, light without darkness, darkness without light, places Antarctica outside the rhythm of the world most people know. It operates on a timeline and in a dimension that feels both earthly and otherworldly. And yet, despite its harshness, Antarctica is full of motion. Beneath the surface, glaciers flow like slow rivers, carrying histories etched into their layers. Winds howl across the plateau with fierce determination, sculpting ridges and dunes of snow that can stand for years. Deep currents swirl beneath floating shelves of ice, connecting continents in ways that are invisible to the naked eye. Even when it appears utterly still, the continent is alive with subtle shifts, movements that remind us that the world is always changing, even when the change is too slow or too distant for us to grasp. But what captures the imagination most is not simply what Antarctica is, but what it may hide. For decades, scientists have suspected that the continent conceals lakes, mountains, rivers, and even ecosystems locked beneath kilometers of ice. And now, as new technologies peel back some of the mystery, the possibilities grow even more intriguing. Evidence suggests that many secrets have been sealed there, shielded from erosion, decay, and human disturbance. Whatever lies beneath the ice has been preserved in a way that no other place on Earth can offer. The continent is like a time vault, one that may contain answers to questions about Earth's origins, ancient climates, and perhaps even the early history of life. The year 2025 marks a turning point in this narrative. As the ice shifts, revealing landscapes hidden for eons. The scientific community finds itself standing at the edge of something revolutionary. Satellite data has detected geometric patterns, melt zones in unexpected places, subglacial topography that defies predictions, and anomalies that spark both excitement and unease. These discoveries challenge long-held assumptions and hint at the possibility that Earth's story may be far more complex than we have understood. The continent is changing, and with those changes come opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to discover, and to reimagine our understanding of the planet. There's a particular calmness that comes with contemplating Antarctica. Even as the discoveries mount and the mysteries deepen, the continent remains quiet, steady, almost meditative. Its silence is not emptiness, but presence. It is a silence that carries the weight of ages, a silence that invites introspection. When one looks at the endless white horizon or listens to the crack of distant ice, there's a sense that the world is speaking in a language older than words. This is part of Antarctica's power. It reminds us that not every secret needs to be loud. Not every revelation needs to be dramatic. Some truths are whispered through ice, carried through light and shadow. Antarctica also forces us to examine our relationship with exploration. Human beings have an instinctive desire to push boundaries, to seek out new frontiers, and to answer the questions that lie just beyond reach. Yet Antarctica demands respect. Its dangers, storms, crevasses, cold unlike anything else, serve as constant reminders that discovery is never without risk. Many explorers have underestimated this place and paid a heavy price. Others approached with reverence, understanding that the land must be treated not as a conquest, but as a companion in a shared journey. This delicate balance between curiosity and caution mirrors the balance within the continent itself. The interplay of light and dark, known and unknown, danger and beauty, all of it creates a narrative that draws us in carefully, gently, inviting exploration without allowing arrogance. The more we learn, the clearer it becomes that Antarctica is not an isolated piece of the planet. It is a cornerstone of Earth's system. Its glaciers regulate sea levels. Its winds influence weather patterns. Its waters circulate nutrients that feed life across oceans. Even the ice itself, ancient and layered, holds the footprints of distant worlds. Volcanic eruptions, solar activity, atmospheric shifts, each preserved in chronological order. To study Antarctica is to study the entire planet, to see how everything is interconnected. And perhaps this is why the continent feels so important in this moment. As the world faces environmental change, the story of Antarctica becomes not just a curiosity, but a guide. But there is another thread in this story, one woven not by scientists, but by storytellers, explorers, and dreamers. Antarctica has long been imagined as a place of hidden wonders, ruins beneath the ice, ancient civilizations swallowed by cold, strange structures waiting to be uncovered. While many of these ideas belong firmly to speculation, their persistence speaks to something deeper. They reveal humanity's longing for meaning, for hidden truths, for the idea that somewhere in the world, a secret lies waiting to rewrite everything. Antarctica is the perfect canvas for such dreams because its vastness allows room for possibility. Its remoteness shields it from quick dismissal, and its silence encourages imagination. The tension between scientific fact and imaginative speculation creates a unique atmosphere around Antarctica. It is a place where both can exist without canceling each other out. The ice holds real, measurable data, sediments, fossils, cosmic dust, and chemical signatures, but it also holds the potential for discovery that stretches beyond what we currently understand. This duality is part of what makes the continent so compelling in 2025. It is a place where truth and wonder sit side by side, where every question leads to another, and where the horizon feels both infinite and incomplete. As we begin this exploration of Antarctica, we are stepping into a story that is still being written. The continent does not offer easy answers. Instead, it offers depth. It offers perspective. It offers a chance to see the Earth not as a series of separate parts, but as a unified whole shaped by forces ancient and ongoing. In the quiet of the ice, in the stillness of the polar night, in the brightness of the endless summer sun, Antarctica teaches us the value of patience and the importance of curiosity. This documentary journey begins with a simple invitation to slow down, to listen, and to let the continent reveal itself one quiet detail at a time. Antarctica 2025 is not just a story of discovery, but a story of reflection, an opportunity to understand not only a frozen land at the end of the world, but the world itself. It is a reminder that even in an age of technological advancement and rapid change, there are still places that hold mysteries deep enough to reshape our understanding of everything we know. Antarctica stands as both a mirror and a doorway, reflecting the Earth's past and offering a passage into its most guarded secrets. And as we move deeper into the unfolding narrative, we carry with us the sense that something extraordinary is waiting beneath the ice, something that could rewrite Earth's entire story. Antarctica has long occupied a unique place in the human imagination, a land both real and imagined, where myth and science meet on a frozen stage. To the casual observer, it is merely a distant, inhospitable expanse, a place that exists at the edge of the world. But for those who have sought to understand it, Antarctica is a realm of paradox, a place where human ambition meets the relentless forces of nature, and where each discovery seems to deepen the mysteries rather than resolve them. From the earliest explorers who braved its icy coastlines to the scientists who now probe its hidden depths with satellites, submarines, and drilling equipment, the continent has been a canvas upon which stories of courage, curiosity, and obsession have been written. The modern myth of Antarctica begins with these explorers, individuals driven by a desire to confront the unknown. Figures such as Roald Amundsen, Robert Falcon Scott, and Ernest Shackleton became immortal not only for their achievements, but also for the trials that accompanied them. Amundsen's meticulous planning led to triumph. Scott's tragic expedition ended in loss, and Shackleton's legendary survival story captured the imagination of generations. Each journey paints a picture of a continent that is simultaneously awe-inspiring and merciless, a place where human ingenuity is tested against nature's vast, indifferent scale. Their stories remind us that Antarctica is more than ice and snow. It is a proving ground for the human spirit, a mirror reflecting our relentless drive to explore and understand the world. Yet, beyond the heroic tales lies a deeper, quieter truth. Scientific exploration has gradually unveiled parts of the continent, revealing its complex geology, hidden lakes, and dynamic ice systems. These discoveries contrast sharply with the continent's reputation as an empty, frozen desert. Researchers have mapped vast mountain ranges buried under kilometers of ice, detected liquid water far beneath the frozen surface, and uncovered microbial life in conditions that seem utterly hostile. Antarctica's surface, though stark and uniform from a distance, conceals a rich tapestry of history and complexity. Every layer of ice is a record of past climates. Every rock and sediment sample a fragment of Earth's long, unfolding story. The modern myth is also shaped by what remains unknown. Despite decades of research, large portions of the continent remain uncharted and inaccessible. The extreme cold, violent storms, and shifting ice make exploration a constant challenge, reminding us that Antarctica does not easily surrender its secrets. Satellite images and remote sensing provide glimpses of hidden valleys and lakes, but the true nature of these features often remains a mystery until researchers can reach them in person. This tension between what is known and what is concealed fuels both scientific inquiry and the imagination, creating a fertile ground for stories that straddle fact and speculation. Contrasting the precision of science with the uncertainty of the unknown gives Antarctica its enduring allure. On one hand, we have detailed measurements of ice thickness, temperature records spanning millennia, and chemical analyses that reveal ancient atmospheres. On the other, there are unexplained anomalies, strange magnetic readings, and geological formations that challenge conventional explanations. These contrasts keep the mind engaged, fostering a sense of wonder that is both intellectual and emotional. In this space between certainty and mystery, Antarctica becomes a character in its own right, a silent, immutable witness to the passage of time, indifferent to human ambition, yet full of stories waiting to be discovered. Even in the 21st century, the continent continues to inspire fascination. Modern expeditions employ autonomous vehicles to explore subglacial lakes. Satellites scan the ice for hidden structures, and researchers develop new techniques to peer into ancient ice cores. Yet despite this technological progress, the sense of awe remains. Antarctica reminds us that for all our knowledge and ingenuity, we are still outsiders, visitors on a land that existed long before us and will continue long after. The contrast between human fragility and the continent's immense scale underscores the central mystery. Beneath the ice, in places untouched by human presence, could lie evidence that changes our understanding of the Earth and its history. In contemplating Antarctica's modern myth, one begins to see the continent not just as a place on a map, but as a symbol of the boundary between the known and the unknown. It embodies the tension between human ambition and nature's enormity, between exploration and revelation, between discovery and mystery. The stories of past explorers, the findings of modern scientists, and the unanswered questions that persist all blend together, creating a narrative that is both historical and speculative. And in this blending, Antarctica's allure grows stronger. It is a land where the impossible seems plausible, a frozen frontier that beckons with silent, eternal patience, whispering that its secrets are not gone, but merely waiting to be found. Beneath the endless sheets of ice, Antarctica holds a silent record of a world long past, a frozen library where the Earth has carefully preserved its own history. The ice itself is more than frozen water. It is a time capsule, each layer a delicate page, chronicling centuries, millennia, and in some cases, millions of years of the planet's story. Scientists extract ice cores that reveal chemical signatures of ancient atmospheres, dust particles carried across continents by winds long extinct, and traces of volcanic eruptions that shook the Earth in ages before human memory. These frozen archives are a bridge to a time we can scarcely imagine, a reminder that the surface of Antarctica, though seemingly still and lifeless, hums with the whispers of a dynamic and ever-changing planet. Sediment layers trapped beneath the ice add further depth to the narrative, preserving evidence of climates radically different from the present. Fossilized pollen, fragments of plants, and the remains of ancient animals tell of a continent that was once verdant, alive with ecosystems that would be unrecognizable today. Trees grew where now only snow falls. Rivers carved valleys that are now frozen beneath ice sheets that stretch for miles. This stark contrast between past abundance and present desolation underscores the fragility of life and the vast timescales over which our planet evolves. Each discovery challenges assumptions, inviting a rethinking of what Antarctica has experienced and, by extension, what the Earth itself has endured. Antarctica's hidden records also extend to extraordinary geological features, many of which remain partially concealed by ice. Buried mountain ranges and valleys, long eroded and sculpted by forces beyond our comprehension, provide clues to tectonic movements and continental shifts that have shaped the Earth over millions of years. Subglacial lakes, isolated for tens of thousands of years, harbor microbial life that has adapted in ways that defy our understanding of biology. These organisms offer tantalizing hints about resilience, adaptation, and perhaps even life in extreme conditions beyond our planet. The discovery of these hidden worlds challenges the perception of Antarctica as an empty wasteland, revealing instead a complex ecosystem frozen in time, holding answers to questions we are only beginning to formulate. One of the most compelling aspects of these frozen archives is their ability to illuminate the mysteries of Earth's climate history. Ice cores provide detailed records of temperature fluctuations, atmospheric composition, and greenhouse gas concentrations, allowing scientists to trace the cycles of warming and cooling that have shaped life on the planet. By comparing these ancient signals to modern data, we begin to understand not only the past, but also the potential trajectory of our future. The contrast between the calm, frozen present and the turbulent climatic shifts of the past creates a narrative tension, inviting contemplation about the delicate balance that sustains life and the profound forces that can disrupt it. Yet, for all we have learned, Antarctica continues to guard its deepest secrets. Every core drilled, every sediment layer analyzed, opens new questions as much as it answers old ones. Unexplored regions, buried beneath kilometers of ice, could hold fossils of unknown species, traces of ancient civilizations, or evidence of events so dramatic that they would rewrite the established story of Earth's history. The interplay between what we know and what remains hidden imbues the continent with a quiet, almost mystical allure. It is a place where curiosity is rewarded with discovery, but where each revelation only deepens the sense of mystery. In contemplating these hidden records, one cannot help but feel a profound connection to time itself. The ice and sediment are not just scientific tools. They are storytellers, narrating events that predate humanity and offering glimpses into worlds that no human eye has seen. They remind us that history is not confined to books or artifacts, but is also encoded in the very structure of the Earth, preserved patiently in the cold, waiting for those who have the patience and skill to listen. Antarctica's frozen chronicles are both a challenge and an invitation, a call to explore, to question, and to imagine a history far richer and stranger than we have yet conceived. And so, the continent emerges as both a scientific treasure trove and a keeper of mysteries, a realm where the known and the unknown coexist in delicate tension. Every layer of ice, every fossil fragment, and every hidden valley becomes a thread in a vast tapestry, suggesting that Antarctica is more than a frozen desert. It is a gateway to understanding Earth's hidden past. As we peel back these layers, we are reminded that the stories they hold are not merely academic. They have the power to reshape our understanding of life, climate, and the very history of our planet. The silent, frozen depths whisper endlessly, hinting at truths that may one day illuminate the grand narrative of Earth itself, awaiting the explorers, scientists, and dreamers willing to uncover them. Beneath Antarctica's seemingly endless sheets of ice lies a hidden world, a labyrinth of mountains, valleys, and lakes concealed from view for millennia. While the surface stretches in uniform whiteness, the land beneath is dynamic and full of secrets, sculpted over eons by forces of nature, both violent and subtle. Subglacial lakes, some of them larger than the world's most famous bodies of water, exist in isolation from the surface, untouched by sunlight and sheltered by kilometers of ice. These dark, frozen waters have never known human presence, creating conditions that seem almost alien, yet within them, life, persistent and resilient, may thrive. The contrast between the stark, visible ice above and the hidden, complex ecosystems below is profound, inviting contemplation about the hidden dimensions of our planet and the endurance of life in extreme environments. Among the most famous of these concealed features is Lake Vostok, a subglacial lake buried beneath nearly 4 kilometers of ice. Scientists have described it as a time capsule, a body of water untouched for tens of thousands of years, perhaps even millions. The extreme conditions, pressure from the overlying ice, frigid temperatures, and complete darkness, have created an environment unlike anything found on the surface. Yet, even here, life may exist, microbial organisms adapted to survive against all odds. The discovery of these potential ecosystems challenges our understanding of biology, adaptation, and the sheer resilience of life. It is a reminder that Antarctica is not merely a frozen wasteland, but a vault of living history, quietly preserving the possibilities of worlds we have yet to imagine. Beneath the ice, hidden mountain ranges rise and fall, their peaks lost to the frozen surface above. These mountains, some comparable in scale to the Rockies or the Alps, reveal a landscape once exposed, shaped by tectonic forces, erosion, and glaciation over millions of years. Valleys carved deep into the bedrock, rivers now buried under ice, and craggy cliffs hidden from view all speak of a past Antarctica far different from the one we perceive today. Satellite imaging and radar mapping have gradually uncovered these features, but much remains unexplored, suggesting that the continent holds chapters of Earth's geological story still waiting to be read. The contrast between the visible monotony of snow and the intricate structures below evokes a sense of quiet wonder and the profound realization that the familiar surface only hints at the mysteries beneath. The isolation of these subglacial worlds also preserves a record of Earth's past climates and ecosystems. As glaciers have advanced and retreated over millions of years, they have captured sediments, microorganisms, and chemical markers, creating an archive unparalleled in its detail. Each layer of ice and each deposit at the bottom of these lakes offers clues about environmental conditions from long before humans arrived on the scene. In some ways, these hidden waters function like a mirror, reflecting not just the past of Antarctica, but the broader history of the planet, from ancient global climates to dramatic shifts in ecosystems and biodiversity. The interplay of light and dark, seen and unseen, past and present, heightens the sense that the continent is a living testament to the Earth's resilience and change. Exploration of these subglacial environments is not without peril. Harsh conditions, technical limitations, and the fragility of the ecosystems themselves make direct study an extraordinary challenge. Yet humanity persists, driven by a desire to uncover the unknown. Autonomous vehicles and drilling technologies allow glimpses into these hidden worlds, revealing microbial mats, unexpected mineral formations, and geological features that defy conventional understanding. Each discovery adds to the sense of Antarctica as a frontier, a land where science meets the profound mystery of life and time, and where every finding hints at broader truths about our planet. In imagining these subglacial landscapes, one cannot help but feel a sense of humility and awe. They are reminders of the vast scales of time and space, of environments untouched by human activity, and of the remarkable adaptability of life. The hidden lakes, mountains, and valleys beneath Antarctica's ice illustrate that our understanding of the continent is only surface deep. What we see is only a thin, frozen veneer over a realm of extraordinary complexity and enduring mystery. The contrast between what is known and what remains hidden sustains a quiet tension, inviting exploration, reflection, and wonder. These concealed worlds serve as a bridge to the past and a lens into possibilities we have yet to comprehend. They suggest that Antarctica is not merely a relic of Earth's history, but an active archive, a record of life, climate, and geology preserved beneath ice and snow. Each hidden feature tells a story of resilience and change, of survival and isolation, and of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. As we peer beneath the frozen surface, the continent reveals itself not as a static expanse, but as a dynamic, living record, quietly guarding the secrets of a world long forgotten by human memory. It is here in the subglacial darkness that Antarctica's most profound lessons may lie. Lessons about life, adaptation, and the unfathomable depths of our planet's history, waiting patiently for discovery. Long before Antarctica became the frozen expanse we know today, it was a land of remarkable contrast, a place alive with forests, rivers, and a rich tapestry of life that thrived under temperate skies. Fossil evidence and ancient sediment layers reveal a continent that once bore little resemblance to the barren white desert of the present. Fossilized ferns, towering conifers, and even the remains of prehistoric animals suggest that Antarctica experienced climates warm enough to support a thriving ecosystem. The realization that this remote, icy wilderness was once verdant challenges our perceptions of the planet's history and invites us to imagine landscapes that have been hidden beneath ice for tens of millions of years. This contrast between past abundance and present desolation is central to the mystery of Antarctica, framing it as a continent that has witnessed profound transformations over incomprehensible spans of time. The evidence of ancient life is both delicate and astonishing. Impressions of leaves, fragments of wood, and fossilized pollen preserved in sediment cores paint vivid pictures of a continent once teeming with flora. These remnants suggest seasonal rhythms, ecological interconnections, and the presence of food webs long erased by the advance of ice sheets. The discovery of fossilized vertebrates, ancient reptiles, amphibians, and even mammals reveals that Antarctica was not an isolated backwater, but a vibrant participant in Earth's prehistoric ecosystems. Each fossil serves as a whisper from the past, a reminder that life persisted in forms we can scarcely imagine, and that the story of Antarctica is far deeper and more intricate than its present frozen state might suggest. Geological studies further illuminate the dramatic shifts that have shaped Antarctica. Continental drift and tectonic movements caused the landmass to move from temperate latitudes toward the polar regions, gradually transforming its climate. Volcanic activity, ice ages, and fluctuations in global sea levels further altered the environment, reshaping landscapes and erasing traces of former ecosystems. This dynamic history of upheaval highlights the contrast between permanence and change, between the seemingly unyielding ice and the turbulent forces that formed it. Understanding these transformations not only informs us about Antarctica itself, but also provides a broader context for Earth's evolutionary and climatic history. The notion that Antarctica's frozen surface conceals entire ecosystems of the past invites both awe and reflection. Beneath layers of ice that can reach several kilometers thick, the remnants of ancient rivers, valleys, and forests lie preserved, offering a record that may rival any other region on the planet. Researchers speculate that these buried landscapes could contain clues about mass extinction events, periods of rapid climate change, and even the emergence and adaptation of species over millions of years. By piecing together these fragments, scientists are beginning to reconstruct a vivid picture of a continent that has been anything but static, a place that has witnessed flourishing life, catastrophic change, and eventual entombment beneath ice. Antarctica's past is also intimately linked to the global story of life. Fossils and geological records hint that the continent was once connected to other landmasses, forming part of the ancient supercontinent Gondwana. This connection allowed for the migration and evolution of species across vast distances, linking Antarctica's history to regions as diverse as South America, Africa, and Australia. The discovery of similar plant and animal fossils across these continents underscores the interconnectedness of Earth's ancient ecosystems and emphasizes how Antarctica's buried history can illuminate the broader narrative of life on our planet. The contrast between the lush, prehistoric Antarctica and its modern frozen state serves as a powerful reminder of Earth's capacity for transformation. It illustrates that the landscapes we see today are only temporary snapshots in a history that spans millions of years. Each fossil, sediment layer, and geological formation represents a chapter in a story that continues to unfold beneath the ice. The realization that the continent's frozen exterior conceals a rich, vibrant past deepens the sense of mystery, compelling us to consider what other secrets may remain locked away, waiting for discovery. As we reflect on Antarctica's ancient ecosystems, we are invited to imagine a world where the familiar boundaries of climate and geography were once radically different. Rivers flowed freely, forests thrived, and a diversity of life flourished in what is now a silent, frozen desert. The fossils and geological traces are more than evidence. They are bridges to a lost world, testaments to the resilience and adaptability of life, and reminders of the immense temporal scales over which Earth evolves. Antarctica's hidden past challenges our assumptions, expands our understanding of the planet, and hints at the possibility that the continent holds still more revelations that could fundamentally alter our view of Earth's history. As explorers and scientists have ventured deeper into Antarctica, they have uncovered not only the continent's geological and biological secrets, but also anomalies that defy easy explanation. These mysterious features, whether detected through satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, or aerial surveys, hint at a layer of the continent that is less understood, less predictable, and profoundly intriguing. From unusual geometric formations in the ice to magnetic disturbances in isolated regions, the evidence presents a subtle but persistent puzzle. Each anomaly sits in stark contrast to the scientific data we trust and understand, challenging assumptions and inviting us to consider that Antarctica may harbor phenomena beyond the scope of conventional explanation. The tension between the known and the unknown forms the heart of this intrigue, a quiet pull that keeps the mind alert and the imagination active. Satellite images have revealed formations that, at first glance, appear artificial. Sharp angles, symmetrical shapes, and linear structures that seem incongruous with natural ice patterns. While scientists urge caution, attributing many of these features to geological processes or optical illusions caused by snow and shadow, the human mind cannot help but speculate. These formations exist in a place utterly remote, inaccessible, and untouched by human intervention for millennia, which only heightens their allure. They remind us that even in a landscape studied so extensively, where researchers have drilled, measured, and mapped for decades, Antarctica still guards its secrets and occasionally offers glimpses of the extraordinary. Magnetic anomalies add another layer of mystery. In certain regions beneath the ice, instruments detect irregular magnetic fields that do not align with our understanding of Earth's geology. These irregularities suggest hidden mineral deposits, unusual rock formations, or other structures buried deep beneath the surface. While geophysicists continue to study these anomalies, their very existence evokes the sense that the continent is alive with histories and processes we have yet to comprehend fully. The contrast between the smooth, icy surface and these hidden, invisible disturbances reinforces the idea that Antarctica is far more complex than it appears, a dynamic world concealed beneath a frozen veneer. The human fascination with mystery and pattern recognition further amplifies the intrigue. Throughout history, explorers and theorists have been captivated by the idea that Antarctica might hold evidence of lost civilizations, forgotten technologies, or ancient structures buried by ice over eons. While much of this belongs to the realm of speculation, it reflects the timeless human impulse to interpret the unknown and seek meaning in what is hidden. The line between plausible discovery and imaginative conjecture becomes blurred, but this ambiguity is precisely what makes Antarctica so compelling. It is a land that rewards patience and curiosity, where the pursuit of truth often intertwines with the allure of the unexplained. Even natural formations in Antarctica can evoke a sense of wonder and unease. Icebergs shaped by winds and currents, glaciers that shift in slow, deliberate motion, and snow-covered ridges that emerge and disappear with the seasons all create patterns that seem intentional, almost artistic. Mountains buried beneath ice sheets, revealed only through radar mapping, form dramatic silhouettes and stark contrasts, suggesting that the Earth itself has left a record written in shapes, shadows, and magnetic imprints. Every unusual formation, every anomaly, every unexplained feature contributes to the sense that Antarctica is a living archive, a place where the boundary between fact and mystery is perpetually blurred. The allure of these mysteries is heightened by Antarctica's extreme isolation. Unlike other continents, where human activity has altered landscapes and obscured history, Antarctica remains largely untouched. The anomalies detected here are untouched by time, human development, or modern interference, making them pristine subjects of study and perfect catalysts for curiosity. They invite speculation not for their immediacy, but for their quiet persistence, hidden for thousands or even millions of years, and only now beginning to reveal themselves to those patient enough to look. The contrast between the ordinary, ice, snow, cold, and the extraordinary, enigmatic formations, unusual magnetic readings, creates a rhythm of discovery that is both meditative and thrilling, perfectly suited to the reflective tone of exploration. In contemplating these hidden features, we are reminded of the limits of our understanding. Antarctica is a place where certainty is rare, where even the most precise measurements leave room for wonder. Each anomaly, whether explained or unexplained, serves as a subtle invitation to explore further, to challenge assumptions, and to consider that beneath the ice lies a record of events, forces, and perhaps even phenomena that could reshape our understanding of Earth's history. The continent becomes a mirror, reflecting both the known and the unknowable, urging us to balance scientific curiosity with imaginative thought, and to recognize that some of its most profound stories may still be waiting in silence beneath the frozen surface. Beneath the ice of Antarctica lies not only a record of life and geological change, but also evidence of catastrophes that have shaped the Earth in profound ways. The frozen layers are like pages of a history book, each one preserving signs of massive floods, asteroid impacts, and sudden climate upheavals that may have left indelible marks on the planet. Unlike other continents, where time and human activity have erased much of the geological record, Antarctica's ice acts as a time capsule, safeguarding evidence of events that might otherwise have been lost. The stark contrast between the calm, silent ice of today and the violent processes of the past underscores the immense power of nature and the precariousness of life over millions of years. In this quiet, frozen landscape, the Earth's history is written not in words but in layers, pressure, and frozen sediments, awaiting discovery by those patient enough to read it. Massive floods, for instance, appear to have swept across the continent in ancient times, leaving behind geological traces that hint at sudden, cataclysmic events. Subglacial sediments, erratic boulders, and erosion patterns suggest that torrents of water once moved with unimaginable force, carving valleys and reshaping landscapes in a matter of days or weeks. These floods, occurring long before humans existed, remind us of the planet's ability to act on scales and with energies that are difficult to comprehend. The frozen calm of modern Antarctica is a stark contrast to these ancient upheavals, highlighting the tension between what we see now and the dramatic history that lies hidden beneath. Every sediment sample, every layered deposit, is a testament to Earth's capacity for sudden and transformative events. Asteroid impacts are another element of Antarctica's hidden history. Geological surveys have identified craters and anomalies suggesting collisions with massive objects from space, events that would have sent shockwaves through the planet and caused abrupt changes in climate and environment. The ice preserves subtle traces of these impacts, microscopic particles, shocked minerals, and chemical signatures that speak of energy releases beyond human imagination. These frozen records not only connect Antarctica to global events, but also demonstrate the interconnectedness of Earth systems, where a single catastrophe in one location can ripple across the globe, altering ecosystems and climate patterns. The contrast between the silent ice and the violence it records deepens the sense of mystery, emphasizing that the past of Antarctica is far more dynamic than its serene surface suggests. Climate shifts, recorded meticulously in ice cores, further illustrate the extremity of the continent's history. Layers of ice capture changes in temperature, greenhouse gases, and atmospheric composition, revealing cycles of warming and cooling that were sudden and sometimes catastrophic. Some layers hint at periods of rapid melting, while others preserve evidence of long-term glaciation. These frozen archives allow scientists to trace the ripple effects of catastrophic events, linking sudden climatic changes in Antarctica to shifts observed in other parts of the world. The contrast between past instability and today's seemingly unchanging ice sheet creates a meditation on time, resilience, and the delicate balance of life on Earth. Volcanic activity beneath the ice adds yet another layer to this story of frozen catastrophes. Subglacial volcanoes have erupted in the distant past, creating sudden surges of meltwater, ash deposits, and lava flows that have shaped local landscapes. Even minor volcanic events beneath kilometers of ice can trigger significant environmental changes, influencing the flow of glaciers and the stability of ice sheets. The presence of these volcanic features reminds us that Antarctica is not merely a passive repository of history, but an active and dynamic part of the planet, where internal forces have continuously reshaped the surface and the hidden terrain. The interplay of fire and ice, destruction and preservation, exemplifies the dramatic contrasts that define the continent. The study of these frozen catastrophes is not merely academic. It carries profound implications for our understanding of Earth's history and future. By examining these preserved events, scientists gain insights into how the planet responds to sudden shocks, whether from climate shifts, extraterrestrial impacts, or geological upheavals. Antarctica becomes a laboratory of time, allowing us to see patterns of resilience, adaptation, and catastrophe on scales that dwarf human experience. The contrast between the serene present and the violent past reminds us that the calmness of the ice is temporary, a fragile veneer covering the deep and often chaotic forces that have shaped the Earth. In contemplating Antarctica's record of catastrophes, one gains a sense of humility and awe. The continent's ice sheets, glaciers, and subglacial landscapes are witnesses to episodes of destruction and transformation that exceed the scope of ordinary human perception. The evidence preserved in frozen layers encourages reflection on the fragility of civilizations, the resilience of life, and the vast timescales over which the planet operates. Every boulder, every sediment layer, every chemical signature is a reminder that Antarctica is not merely a frozen desert, but a repository of Earth's most dramatic histories. The tension between what is seen on the surface and what lies hidden beneath the ice sustains curiosity and wonder, keeping alive the sense that the continent may still hold secrets capable of rewriting our understanding of the world. Ultimately, Antarctica's frozen catastrophes serve as both a warning and an invitation. They are warnings of the scale and power of natural events, of the fragility of the living world, and of the limits of human comprehension. Yet they are also an invitation to explore, to question, and to marvel at the extraordinary record preserved beneath the ice. The silent white expanses conceal a history of upheaval and resilience, of destruction and renewal, offering a perspective that stretches far beyond the boundaries of recorded time. In the quiet of this frozen continent, the Earth's dramatic past lies in wait, reminding us that beneath calm surfaces, extraordinary stories of catastrophe and change are always hidden, waiting to be discovered by those who seek them. Antarctica, while often regarded as the last great wilderness of the planet, may also hold whispers of human history, buried and obscured beneath layers of ice. The continent's extreme isolation and harsh climate have long made it appear inhospitable to human life. Yet myths, ancient maps, and tantalizing theories suggest that humans or their ancestors might have brushed against this forbidden land long before recorded history acknowledged it. Tales of lost civilizations, mysterious expeditions, and unexplained artifacts have circulated for centuries, blending the lines between fact and speculation. Whether rooted in reality or imagination, these stories underscore the continent's unique role as a boundary between the known world and the realms of possibility, inviting reflection on what humans have yet to discover. Historical legends hint that ancient mariners and civilizations may have ventured farther than commonly recognized, guided by celestial knowledge and navigational skill. Some researchers point to old maps that depict land masses resembling Antarctica, though these depictions are often dismissed or disputed. The mere suggestion that explorers in antiquity might have reached these icy coasts challenges conventional narratives, sparking curiosity about the continent's role in human migration, exploration, and survival. Even if these accounts are partly myth, they reveal humanity's fascination with extreme frontiers and the enduring allure of places that resist understanding. Archaeological speculation adds another layer to this narrative. While no definitive human artifacts have yet been found beneath Antarctica's ice, the possibility remains that future exploration could reveal tools, structures, or other traces of early activity. Scientists continue to study subglacial terrains and ancient sediments, searching for clues that might indicate episodic human presence, transient encampments, or even evidence of pre-human inhabitants. These investigations are fueled by the contrast between Antarctica's current, forbidding landscape and the possibility that it once experienced climates suitable for life and exploration, reinforcing the notion that the continent may hold chapters of human, or proto-human, history that remain hidden. The interplay between myth and science is especially compelling in Antarctica. Stories of lost civilizations, hidden temples, and mysterious structures in the ice have captured the imagination of writers, explorers, and theorists alike. While mainstream science urges caution and emphasizes natural explanations, the persistence of these stories suggests that Antarctica occupies a symbolic space in the human imagination, representing the unknown, the forbidden, and the extraordinary. This tension between what is empirically verifiable and what is tantalizingly speculative imbues the continent with a sense of narrative richness, where curiosity is as important as certainty and wonder exists alongside rigorous inquiry. Ancient myths from various cultures, though geographically distant, sometimes allude to cold southern lands, enigmatic ice, or forgotten realms, hinting at a collective human fascination with the polar extremes. These legends, passed down through generations, may encode memories of ancient climate conditions, migratory knowledge, or human interactions with extreme environments. Whether literal or symbolic, they reinforce the idea that Antarctica is not merely a geographic location, but a psychological and cultural frontier, a place where human imagination meets the profound mysteries of the natural world. The contrast between the familiar myths of temperate lands and the alien, icy reality of Antarctica strengthens the sense that this is a land both physically and metaphorically on the edge of human experience. Modern exploration, in its own way, intersects with these echoes of history and myth. Scientists and adventurers are driven not only by the desire to map and study the continent, but also by the allure of uncovering stories that lie hidden beneath ice sheets, frozen lakes, and glacial valleys. The possibility of discovering remnants of early human journeys or traces of life that predate written records fuels both scientific investigation and public fascination. In this sense, Antarctica becomes a bridge between empirical inquiry and the imagination, a place where the boundary between history and legend is porous, and where every unexplored crevice might conceal something extraordinary. In contemplating the human dimension of Antarctica, one is struck by the interplay of absence and presence. The continent is largely devoid of people today, yet it resonates with stories, speculation, and hints of past activity. Its silence amplifies the imagination, and its inaccessibility preserves the possibility that discoveries of profound historical significance could lie just beneath the surface. The tension between the barren, frozen present and the rich, speculative past invites reflection on humanity's place in the world and the ways in which history, myth, and exploration intertwine. Antarctica, in this sense, is both a destination and a question, a challenge to our understanding of what is possible and a reminder that the human story may be far broader and stranger than we currently know. Ultimately, the continent's potential connection to human history deepens its sense of mystery. It serves as a silent testament to our curiosity, resilience, and enduring fascination with the unknown. The stories, legends, and speculations, combined with the ongoing scientific search, suggest that Antarctica is not merely a frozen wasteland, but a repository of untold narratives, both human and natural. Its ice and hidden landscapes invite us to imagine, to explore, and to recognize that beneath its frozen exterior, there may lie secrets that could expand our understanding of history, life, and the intricate relationship between humanity and the Earth itself. Beneath the seemingly endless expanse of ice that blankets Antarctica, an astonishing world of hidden mountains and valleys lies in quiet secrecy. These subglacial formations, largely invisible to the casual observer, have only recently begun to reveal themselves through the lens of satellite imaging, radar surveys, and deep ice research. What appears to be a monotonous, frozen wasteland is in truth a vast, rugged terrain shaped over millions of years by tectonic forces, volcanic activity, and the slow, inexorable weight of shifting glaciers. These mountains and valleys are not simply inert formations. They're archives of Earth's deep history, frozen and preserved beneath layers of ice, waiting for the patient eye of science to decode their stories. Antarctica's subglacial mountains, some reaching elevations comparable to the Rockies or even the Himalayas, present a startling contrast to the smooth, unbroken ice surface above. Peaks rise abruptly under kilometers of ice, forming a hidden skyline that defies the notion of a featureless continent. Between these peaks, valleys stretch like frozen arteries, some of them deep enough to contain lakes isolated from the outside world for millions of years. These hidden valleys are remnants of ancient landscapes, carved when Antarctica was warmer, greener, and teeming with life, long before the ice sheets swallowed the land. Imagining these valleys, one can almost hear the faint echoes of rivers that may once have flowed, of forests that may have whispered in the wind, and of ecosystems that disappeared into the cold oblivion of time. The contrast between what we see on the surface and what lies beneath is not only striking in its physicality, but also in its implications. Every subglacial mountain and hidden valley is a clue to the continent's enigmatic past. Their very existence challenges assumptions about Antarctica as a static, frozen wasteland, suggesting a dynamic geological history that may intertwine with global events. The splitting of continents, ancient climate shifts, and even the rise and fall of ecosystems that might have existed in ways we cannot yet fully comprehend. Researchers have noted that the arrangement of these mountains may correspond to tectonic scars from when Antarctica was part of supercontinents, hinting at movements of the Earth's crust that occurred hundreds of millions of years ago. In this sense, the continent itself becomes a living record of the planet's deep time transformations. Recent discoveries have also highlighted the complexity of the hidden valleys, which are more than mere depressions in the ice. Many contain subglacial lakes and rivers, nourished not by rainfall, but by geothermal heat and slow melting from the pressure of ice above. These hidden waters may act as conduits for minerals, chemicals, and even microbial life, suggesting that the mountains and valleys are not inert relics but active, evolving systems. The presence of life, even in its simplest forms, in such extreme conditions forces us to reconsider what environments can support life. It raises tantalizing questions about the potential for life to exist in other icy realms, on moons like Europa or Enceladus, where frozen landscapes may conceal similar hidden worlds. The scale of these hidden formations is almost unimaginable. Radar mapping has revealed valleys hundreds of kilometers long, flanked by mountains rising thousands of meters, their shapes sculpted by eons of glacial flow. In some regions, glaciers have carved U-shaped troughs, while in others, the ice has preserved sharp, jagged peaks from eons past. This hidden topography is not random. It tells a story of relentless natural forces, volcanic eruptions, ice movement, erosion, and deposition that have shaped a land we can only partially glimpse. Each ridge, each valley, each subglacial plateau is a chapter in Antarctica's silent chronicle, a story written in stone and ice, waiting for us to learn how to read it. The very inaccessibility of these hidden landscapes adds to their mystery. Unlike mountains elsewhere in the world, which can be climbed, measured, and studied up close, Antarctica's subglacial formations are veiled beneath kilometers of solid ice. Researchers rely on indirect methods: radar waves that bounce off rock layers, satellite gravimetry that detects slight variations in density, and computer models that reconstruct what lies beneath. Each discovery, though indirect, evokes awe and wonder, offering glimpses of a world that has existed largely untouched by human eyes. The silence of these hidden mountains is profound, a quiet that stretches across millennia, punctuated only by the slow groan of shifting ice. In contemplating Antarctica's hidden mountains and valleys, one is struck not only by their physical grandeur, but also by the profound sense of time they convey. These formations have witnessed epochs of change: the rise and fall of seas, the drift of continents, the march of ice across the land, and the evolution of life on Earth. They are both timeless and impermanent, frozen in place yet subject to the subtle but relentless forces of geology. The contrast between the frozen monotony of the surface and the complexity beneath reminds us of the limits of perception, of how much remains unseen, and how much history the planet still guards in silence. As we begin to visualize these hidden landscapes, it becomes clear that Antarctica is far more than an ice-covered wilderness. Its mountains and valleys are both guardians of ancient history and active participants in the ongoing story of the planet. They remind us that the known world is only a fraction of what exists, and that beneath seemingly inhospitable surfaces, extraordinary worlds can thrive, hidden from sight, yet crucial to understanding the Earth in its entirety. For the viewer, these revelations are an invitation to imagine, to wonder, and to listen to the quiet stories written in the depths beneath the ice, stories that might, one day, rewrite the way we see our planet. Beneath Antarctica's endless white expanse, scientists have discovered phenomena that defy easy explanation, subtle anomalies that hint at a deeper story hidden within the ice. Magnetic irregularities detected across the continent reveal patterns unlike those expected from ordinary geology. In some regions, the Earth's magnetic field seems to fluctuate in unusual ways, as though the land itself holds memory traces of ancient forces. These anomalies, measured through satellite surveys and ground-based instruments, stand in quiet contrast to the uniform, serene surface above, reminding us that beneath the apparent stillness, Antarctica is alive with secrets waiting to be unraveled. The ice itself adds another layer of mystery. It is often thought of as frozen, inert, and unchanging, yet Antarctic ice is far from static. Layer upon layer accumulates over millennia, compressing older snow and entrapping air, particles, and even microscopic life. Within these layers, scientists have discovered unusual crystalline formations and irregular patterns that do not always conform to known glaciological processes. Some ice cores reveal abrupt shifts in density, mysterious pockets of air, and trace elements that defy current models of deposition. Every anomaly in the ice is a question mark, a reminder that what we see on the surface is only a fraction of Antarctica's story. The magnetic anomalies themselves are particularly intriguing because they may provide clues about the continent's hidden geological past. They often correspond to subglacial features, such as mountain ranges, volcanic structures, or deep fractures in the bedrock. These structures are thought to have formed hundreds of millions of years ago, during periods when Antarctica was part of supercontinents like Gondwana. Some anomalies suggest sudden shifts or disruptions that conventional models cannot fully explain, raising the possibility of catastrophic geological events, ancient volcanic activity, or even impacts from celestial objects. The contrast between the calm, frozen surface and the dynamic forces beneath evokes a sense of both wonder and unease. Equally compelling is the possibility that these anomalies may hold records of Earth's magnetic history. The planet's magnetic field has flipped many times over millions of years, a process known as geomagnetic reversal, and evidence of these flips can sometimes be traced in rocks and ice. In Antarctica, however, some anomalies seem inconsistent with established models, hinting at local disturbances or processes not yet fully understood. Could the ice and rock beneath the continent be preserving echoes of geomagnetic events that science has yet to decode? The mystery is amplified by the sheer inaccessibility of these regions, making every new discovery feel like a fragment of a hidden story. Adding to the enigma, the ice itself behaves in ways that challenge scientists' expectations. Beneath kilometers of frozen surface, subglacial movements are constantly reshaping the landscape. Glaciers flow, fracture, and grind against bedrock, yet the patterns of this movement sometimes defy predictions. Radar surveys reveal irregularities in the ice sheets, strange undulations, crevices, and hidden cavities that suggest a history of dynamic shifts. Some researchers have speculated that these formations could be remnants of ancient water flows or geological upheavals that predate the continent's current frozen state. Each irregularity is a subtle whisper from a past we cannot yet fully comprehend, a hidden chapter in the continent's long, silent chronicle. The ice and magnetic mysteries also open the door to broader questions about Antarctica's place in Earth's history. If magnetic anomalies and ice irregularities preserve evidence of ancient geological events, they may also hint at conditions under which life could have existed long before the continent froze. The juxtaposition of extreme cold and potential past warmth, of stability and sudden upheaval, frames Antarctica as a paradoxical realm, both forbidding and revealing. The anomalies invite us to reconsider what is possible, to imagine a world beneath the ice that has remained isolated from both human influence and modern understanding. Scientific curiosity about these anomalies has grown in recent decades, fueled by technological advancements. Satellite missions, ground-penetrating radar, and ice-penetrating seismic studies have allowed researchers to map previously invisible structures with remarkable precision. Still, the interpretations of these data are cautious, careful not to overreach, and often contradictory. Some patterns suggest volcanic heat sources beneath the ice, while others hint at the presence of unusual mineral deposits or even previously uncharted mountain ranges. Every new layer of understanding seems to reveal another layer of complexity, reinforcing the idea that Antarctica is far from fully understood. For the observer, the beauty of these magnetic and ice mysteries lies not only in their scientific significance, but also in the poetic tension they create. The serene, almost monochrome landscape of the continent belies the dynamism hidden beneath. Invisible forces sculpt the land and ice, quietly recording events that occurred millions of years ago. The interplay between the known and the unknown, the visible and the hidden, gives Antarctica a mystique unlike any other place on Earth. It is a reminder that the planet still holds secrets, patiently waiting for those who are willing to listen with careful attention and an open mind. As we reflect on these hidden anomalies, a sense of awe emerges, not just for the natural forces at work, but for the limits of human understanding. Antarctica's ice and magnetic irregularities challenge the assumption that the planet is fully mapped, fully explained, fully known. They invite us to embrace mystery, to value questions as much as answers, and to recognize that even in an era of satellites and supercomputers, the Earth retains hidden depths that can astonish, humble, and inspire. In the calm of this frozen continent, beneath layers of snow and ice, the magnetic and geological stories of a time long past await discovery, reminding us that Antarctica is not merely a frozen desert, but a living archive of Earth's ancient and ongoing mysteries. Long before modern satellites and ice-penetrating radar revealed the hidden contours of Antarctica, whispers of its existence lingered in maps, legends, and forgotten manuscripts. Ancient cartographers sometimes hinted at a vast southern land, often depicted in fragments, sometimes labeled with names that have since faded into obscurity. These maps, incomplete and enigmatic, suggest that humanity's awareness of Antarctica stretches further back than we might assume. When juxtaposed with today's precise imaging, the mysterious outlines of these early maps evoke a sense of wonder, hinting that knowledge of this frozen continent might have once been partially understood, then lost to time and obscurity. The intrigue deepens when considering the myths and oral traditions of cultures far from the icy southern hemisphere. Tales of sunless lands, endless snow, and hidden riches appear in texts and stories that span continents. Some describe lands that are unreachable, veiled in mist or ice, accessible only to the most daring explorers or the most imaginative of dreamers. While these accounts were often dismissed as fanciful, the striking alignment of certain stories with known geological features of Antarctica invites contemplation. Could echoes of the continent's pre-ice past have reached the human imagination long before it was officially discovered? Or are these merely coincidental reflections of the universal human fascination with the unknown? Historical records hint at the ways knowledge can be lost. Early seafarers, relying on imperfect navigation and sporadic sightings, sometimes created maps that were later corrected or discarded. Some maps depicted coastlines that resemble Antarctica's actual shape, yet these details vanish from common knowledge for centuries. This tension between what was known and what was forgotten mirrors the continent itself. A land largely hidden, a story partially told, a truth waiting beneath layers of ice and time. The contrast is poetic. The maps suggest familiarity. The ice enforces obscurity, and humanity remains suspended between these two extremes. Even in the modern era, some researchers have explored the notion that ancient civilizations may have left traces of their understanding of Antarctica, hints that survive in obscure texts or marginalia in historical documents. These traces are never conclusive, yet they provoke questions. How much did humans know before the ice sheets expanded? Could knowledge of distant lands have been preserved in ways we no longer recognize? The uncertainty is part of the fascination. It invites the viewer to imagine a continuum of discovery and loss, a cycle where knowledge can be glimpsed, partially understood, and then buried by the passage of time. The hidden value of these lost maps is not just historical curiosity. It is an invitation to reflect on the nature of exploration itself. Exploration is never purely a linear accumulation of facts. It is also a journey through imagination, speculation, and the gaps between what is seen and what is yet to be known. The forgotten knowledge of old maps mirrors the continent's frozen landscapes. Beneath the apparent stillness lie patterns and truths, visible only to those willing to look carefully, to listen, and to piece together fragments from multiple sources. Antarctica becomes a metaphor for the human quest for understanding, a land that is partly revealed, partly concealed, always compelling. Moreover, the juxtaposition of lost knowledge with modern technology underscores a profound contrast. Today, satellites trace every undulation, radar probes deep beneath the ice, and researchers uncover mountains, valleys, and lakes that were previously invisible. Yet the same continent that modern science maps with such precision was once sketched in rough outlines on parchment, an object of imagination as much as observation. This continuum, from speculative sketches to advanced imaging, reminds us that mystery is not eliminated by knowledge, but transformed. Each new discovery reframes previous understanding, allowing old mysteries to evolve into new questions. Finally, lost maps and forgotten knowledge serve as a reminder of the fragility of human memory. Just as the ice preserves layers of Earth's history, human records preserve fragments of our own understanding. Some truths may be lost for centuries, only to be rediscovered with fresh eyes, new tools, and renewed curiosity. In contemplating these maps and legends, the viewer is invited to consider the continuity of human wonder. How much of the past remains hidden? How much of the present is yet to be understood? And how Antarctica, in its silent grandeur, keeps secrets both geological and cultural, patiently waiting for discovery. In the vast whiteness of Antarctica, modern expeditions carry the torch of curiosity into territories that have remained frozen and silent for millions of years. Today, international research stations, sophisticated drones, and ice-penetrating radar allow scientists to explore the continent in ways unimaginable to the earliest explorers. Each station, though small against the endless ice, serves as a beacon of human endeavor, a temporary outpost amid a landscape that has existed in near isolation from the rest of the world. These modern expeditions combine precision technology with a profound respect for the fragility of this remote environment, creating a delicate balance between discovery and preservation. The human experience of Antarctic exploration remains both physically and psychologically demanding. Temperatures plunge to extremes that test the limits of endurance, while winds howl across the ice, carrying with them both biting cold and a timeless stillness. Researchers contend with the isolation of months-long winters, when daylight is a distant memory and the horizon seems to vanish into unbroken white. Yet in this extreme, there's an extraordinary clarity, a sense of being suspended outside of normal time, where the enormity of the landscape mirrors the enormity of the questions being asked. Modern explorers stand not just on ice, but on the threshold of history, seeking knowledge that could reshape our understanding of the planet. One of the central focuses of modern research is the mapping of subglacial landscapes. Radar and seismic imaging allow scientists to peer beneath kilometers of ice, revealing mountains, valleys, and lakes that have remained untouched for millions of years. The technology, though precise, cannot fully capture the mystery of these hidden worlds. Every discovery is both an answer and a question. The identification of a subglacial lake raises new inquiries about its origin, its potential ecosystem, and the forces that preserved it in isolation. In this way, the continent continues to defy total comprehension, even in the age of advanced instrumentation. Drilling deep into the ice sheets has yielded some of the most profound revelations. Ice cores, extracted carefully layer by layer, preserve ancient atmospheres, particles, and even traces of microbial life. These cores act as time capsules, containing records of climate fluctuations, atmospheric composition, and environmental events that occurred hundreds of thousands of years ago. By studying these frozen layers, scientists uncover the rhythms of Earth's climate long before human history, as well as abrupt shifts that challenge conventional models. The deeper the drill, the further back in time researchers can peer, approaching eras that existed before the ice claimed the continent. It is not only the ice that fascinates scientists. Antarctica's geology, previously hidden beneath the frozen surface, is coming into sharper focus. Modern expeditions reveal active volcanic regions, tectonic fractures, and ancient rock formations that tell a story of a land that has been anything but static. These findings are sometimes at odds with previous assumptions, suggesting that Antarctica played a far more dynamic role in the Earth's geological past than previously imagined. By studying these formations, researchers are uncovering evidence that could connect Antarctica's evolution to the breakup of ancient supercontinents and the shifting of climates worldwide. The human quest for discovery is amplified by the continent's extreme isolation. Transporting equipment, fuel, and personnel across vast distances requires careful planning, endurance, and ingenuity. Teams rely on specialized vehicles, snow tractors, and aircraft capable of landing on ice. Even with such preparation, the environment imposes strict limits. A sudden storm can strand a team, and temperatures can freeze equipment or endanger life within hours. Yet these challenges, rather than deterring scientists, reinforce the uniqueness of their work. Every measurement, every sample, every observation carries the weight of risk and the promise of unparalleled insight. International collaboration has become a hallmark of Antarctic research. Scientists from diverse nations come together, sharing resources and knowledge in the pursuit of understanding a land that belongs, in essence, to no one yet to everyone. The Antarctic Treaty System ensures that the continent remains dedicated to peace, science, and the collective pursuit of knowledge. This spirit of cooperation allows for large-scale projects that might be impossible for any single nation, from mapping entire subglacial regions to studying ecosystems that exist in isolation from the rest of the planet. The global dimension of this research underscores the idea that Antarctica is not just a local curiosity, but a frontier with universal significance. Modern technology also brings new ways of visualizing the continent. Drones hover above icy plains, capturing images that reveal previously unseen crevices and ridges. Satellite imagery provides a continuous, bird's-eye view, allowing researchers to track glacial movement, ice loss, and the subtle shifts of the frozen landscape over time. These images are not just data. They're a window into the continent's hidden life, an invitation to witness both the stark beauty and the subtle dynamism of this remote world. Each photograph, each map, is a small step toward understanding a place that has remained largely untouched for millennia. Yet, even with all this technology, Antarctica retains an aura of the unknown. Every expedition uncovers anomalies, lakes warmer than expected, magnetic fluctuations in the bedrock, fossils hinting at a distant, ice-free past. Each finding deepens the sense that the continent still has secrets to reveal. For scientists, this balance between discovery and mystery is essential. It is what drives research forward, blending rigorous observation with a sense of wonder. Antarctica is both a laboratory and a storybook, a land where facts meet imagination, and where every new discovery raises more questions than it answers. In the quiet moments, when the wind subsides and the endless ice stretches to the horizon, researchers often pause to contemplate the scale and significance of their work. They're not merely collecting data, they're participating in a dialogue with time itself, listening to echoes from an ancient continent. Antarctica's silent grandeur, the frozen landscape punctuated by hidden mountains and subglacial lakes, becomes a reminder of both human curiosity and the enduring mysteries of Earth. Every expedition, no matter how meticulously planned, is a journey into uncertainty, a testament to the courage and patience required to uncover the stories frozen in ice. Modern expeditions, in essence, bridge the gap between past and future, turning imagination into evidence and speculation into understanding. Through their efforts, Antarctica is gradually revealing its complex identity, a land of extremes, a keeper of ancient knowledge, and a dynamic environment that continues to shape the Earth in ways we are only beginning to understand. Yet the continent also insists that mystery remains, that some stories are to be discovered slowly, patiently, and with reverence for the forces that have shaped it over millions of years. Antarctica is often imagined as a distant, untouched wilderness, a land of silence and snow, far removed from the concerns of everyday life. Yet, beneath this serene exterior lies a profound influence over the planet, a quiet authority that shapes climates, oceans, and ecosystems on a global scale. The continent's massive ice sheets store the majority of the Earth's fresh water, acting as a frozen reservoir whose stability or instability can alter the balance of seas and rivers across the world. Even subtle shifts in the Antarctic ice sheets can ripple outward, changing sea levels, influencing weather patterns, and affecting the delicate equilibrium upon which countless species, including humans, depend. The contrast between its apparent stillness and its immense global impact is both humbling and awe-inspiring. Recent observations of melting ice and retreating glaciers have revealed that Antarctica is not as inert as it seems. The ice, which once seemed eternal, is responding to changes in temperature, ocean currents, and atmospheric conditions in ways that challenge predictions. Large ice shelves are breaking away, some calving massive icebergs that drift silently into the Southern Ocean. These movements, though majestic in appearance, carry serious implications for global sea levels. If certain regions of Antarctica were to melt significantly, coastal cities around the world could face rising waters, altering human geography and reshaping the coastlines that have existed for millennia. The silent continent, isolated though it may appear, has the power to rewrite maps and transform habitats thousands of miles away. The hidden ecosystems of Antarctica are equally delicate. Beneath the ice, subglacial lakes and isolated valleys host microbial communities that have evolved in extraordinary isolation, thriving in conditions that would seem impossible elsewhere. These organisms are more than curiosities. They're living records of evolution, offering clues about resilience, adaptation, and the limits of life. Disturbing these ecosystems, even unintentionally through scientific exploration or climate-induced changes, could erase thousands of years of biological history in moments. Here, the contrast between human knowledge and human impact is stark. Our desire to explore and understand must be balanced with care, humility, and respect for the unseen worlds that persist beneath the ice. Antarctica's influence extends beyond biology and climate to include the movement of the oceans themselves. The melting and freezing of ice in the southern continent contribute to the global conveyor belt of ocean currents, which in turn regulate weather and climate patterns around the world. The interplay between Antarctica's ice sheets and ocean circulation is delicate. Small perturbations can amplify into large-scale environmental effects, affecting rainfall, drought, and storm intensity across continents. The frozen quiet of the continent, when contrasted with the dynamic, far-reaching consequences of its shifting ice, underscores a central paradox. The most silent places can exert the greatest power, shaping life on Earth in ways that are not immediately visible, yet profoundly consequential. Human understanding of Antarctica's environmental importance is still evolving. Satellite data, ice core analysis, and climate modeling have illuminated much, yet uncertainty persists. Each new discovery, whether a hidden subglacial river, an unexpected microbial community, or an ice shelf at risk of collapse, reminds us of the complexity of global systems and the interconnectedness of all life. In contemplating these revelations, it becomes clear that Antarctica is not merely a remote laboratory. It is a sentinel, a mirror reflecting the delicate balance of the Earth, and a warning of what may happen if that balance is disrupted. The continent also holds potential lessons for the future. Studying its ancient climate records allows scientists to understand long-term climate cycles, sudden shifts, and periods of warming or cooling that predate human influence. These insights are invaluable for predicting how our planet may respond to ongoing environmental changes. Antarctica, in this sense, functions as both archive and teacher, a repository of Earth's past and a guide for navigating the uncertain future. The contrast between its frozen present and its hidden historical record provides perspective, encouraging a long view of time and the planet's delicate equilibrium. Even cultural and philosophical reflections emerge from contemplating Antarctica's environmental role. The continent's silence, its seeming remoteness, and its slow-moving ice sheets evoke humility. They remind us that human history, though brief, is inseparable from Earth's long-term processes. Our choices, though immediate in their effects, resonate within systems that have been evolving for millions of years. In this way, Antarctica becomes more than a place on a map. It becomes a symbol of responsibility, reminding humanity that the Earth's most remote regions are not untouched. They're integral to the web of life and to the stability of the world we inhabit. Finally, the environmental and global implications of Antarctica intertwine with its historical and geological mysteries. As ice melts and technology uncovers hidden lakes, mountains, and valleys, we glimpse both the fragility and resilience of the continent. Every revelation, whether of microbial life, fossilized remains, or magnetic anomalies, carries implications that extend far beyond the frozen land itself. In contemplating these hidden worlds, viewers are invited to consider not only the science, but also the philosophical and ethical dimensions of exploration. Antarctica teaches patience, humility, and the understanding that even the quietest and most remote places can have profound significance for the entire planet. Antarctica, in its silent grandeur, thus stands as both a mirror and a teacher. Its ice sheets, hidden ecosystems, and dynamic influence on climate remind us that the Earth is a complex, interwoven system. Its mysteries are not only historical or scientific. They are warnings, lessons, and invitations. The frozen continent, remote though it may seem, is deeply connected to the life and future of our world, quietly shaping outcomes that span oceans, generations, and continents. In this quiet majesty, viewers are left with a sense of awe and responsibility, reflecting on the interconnectedness of all life and the profound importance of safeguarding the secrets and systems of this forbidden continent. Antarctica, in its vast frozen silence, remains a canvas for both science and speculation. Beneath the seemingly uniform ice lie enigmas that continue to defy explanation, teasing the imagination while grounding researchers in meticulous observation. Fossils that hint at life long before the ice sheets formed, subglacial lakes that may host isolated ecosystems, and geological anomalies that challenge accepted theories all point to a continent that guards its secrets with relentless patience. The tension between what is known and what remains hidden forms the heartbeat of Antarctica's allure, a rhythm that pulls the curious into contemplation, inviting them to explore the shadowy boundary between fact and mystery. Among the most tantalizing puzzles are the hints of ancient life preserved beneath the ice. Fossilized plants and remnants of prehistoric forests speak of a time when Antarctica was green, warm, and alive, a stark contrast to the desolate, frozen expanse we see today. These discoveries raise questions not only about the continent itself, but also about Earth's broader ecological history. How did life adapt as temperatures plummeted and ice sheets expanded? Were there species that migrated, vanished, or evolved in isolation beneath the growing ice? The ice preserves fragments of these answers, yet much remains obscured, hidden beneath layers that may never fully yield their stories. Geological anomalies add another layer of intrigue. Subglacial mountains, hidden valleys, and unexpected magnetic variations suggest a dynamic and complex history, one that conventional models cannot fully explain. Volcanic activity beneath the ice, ancient tectonic shifts, and even the sudden formation of lakes beneath kilometers of frozen water hint at a continent that has experienced dramatic changes over eons. The challenge lies in interpreting these anomalies with care, balancing the desire for sensational explanations with the rigorous methods of modern science. And yet, the very presence of these mysteries reminds us that Antarctica is not merely a frozen desert. It is an archive of natural history, containing clues that may rewrite our understanding of the planet. Speculative theories, while unconfirmed, also occupy a space in the collective fascination with Antarctica. Ideas about lost civilizations, hidden artifacts, or unknown life forms often circulate in whispers and academic footnotes alike. Though mainstream science approaches these claims with caution, their persistence highlights a universal human drive, the need to imagine possibilities beyond the immediately visible. Antarctica's isolation amplifies this impulse. In a land so remote, untouched by the usual rhythms of human activity, it is natural to wonder whether the continent's ice conceals remnants of a past we cannot yet reconstruct or even fully comprehend. Even as speculation thrives, there is a grounding force in modern research. Every anomaly is approached methodically with instruments, models, and careful analysis. Yet the interplay between discovery and uncertainty is part of the continent's enduring charm. Each expedition, each core sample, each radar survey adds clarity, while simultaneously revealing new questions. The process itself becomes almost meditative. Antarctica, in its vastness, teaches patience, reminding us that some truths are incremental, discovered only through careful observation over time. It is a land where curiosity must coexist with humility, where the unknown remains respected as much as it is pursued. The mysteries of Antarctica are not purely scientific. They are philosophical. They invite reflection on the limits of knowledge and the nature of human inquiry. The ice sheets, the hidden lakes, the fossilized forests, all of these are records of time, stretching far beyond human lifespans. In contemplating these enigmas, viewers are encouraged to consider their own place in the continuum of history. What does it mean to exist in a world where so much remains hidden? How do we balance the drive to uncover secrets with the recognition that some mysteries may be meant to endure, guiding rather than concluding our exploration? These unsolved mysteries also reinforce the narrative of contrast that defines Antarctica: life and desolation, motion and stillness, the observable and the concealed. The continent's surface appears serene and monotone, yet beneath it pulses a history of dramatic events and untold stories. Ice that seems static conceals flowing subglacial rivers. Silent plains overlay hidden mountains, and frozen lakes may shelter life that has evolved in isolation for millions of years. Each paradox invites the mind to wander, to imagine, and to listen carefully to the faint echoes of a past that is only partially revealed. Ultimately, the unsolved mysteries of Antarctica serve as an invitation, a gentle, persistent call to wonder. They remind us that even in an age dominated by technology, satellites, and scientific precision, there remain places that resist total comprehension. The continent's anomalies, fossils, and hidden ecosystems provoke curiosity without demanding immediate answers. In this sense, Antarctica becomes more than a place. It becomes an experience, a meditation on the unknown. It is a realm where questions are as important as answers, where speculation is not a failure of science, but a companion to it, and where the frozen silence itself inspires reflection, imagination, and reverence. In contemplating these mysteries, viewers are left suspended between the comfort of knowledge and the excitement of possibility. Antarctica's enigmas are enduring, not because they are impossible to explore, but because they remind us that the Earth's story is vast, layered, and far from fully told. And in that quiet tension, the interplay of what is known and what is hidden, the continent achieves a rare magic, a space where curiosity, wonder, and reflection coexist, guiding those who listen gently into the mysteries of time, life, and the natural world. As our journey across Antarctica draws to a contemplative pause, the mind lingers on the vastness of this frozen continent, stretching endlessly in white silence, unbroken by human hands. At first glance, the land appears monochrome, uniform, and still, yet beneath its surface lies a tapestry of hidden life, geological intrigue, and untold histories. From the first intrepid explorers who braved storm and isolation, to modern scientific expeditions mapping subglacial mountains and lakes, Antarctica has always challenged human understanding, inviting both awe and reverence. The continent serves as a mirror of time, reflecting not just the immense span of geological epochs, but also the limits, curiosities, and humility of human knowledge itself. Antarctica embodies contrasts that define its mystique. Its frozen plains suggest desolation, yet life persists, hidden in microbial communities, in subglacial lakes isolated for millions of years, and perhaps even in ice layers that guard genetic and ecological secrets of the past. Its ice sheets seem eternal, yet they shift, fracture, and flow, carrying with them the record of Earth's ancient climates and the rhythms of natural cycles. Mountains and valleys hidden beneath kilometers of ice remain largely inaccessible, yet their presence shapes the dynamics of the land, influencing glacial movement, subglacial lakes, and even the magnetic anomalies that hint at forces beyond immediate comprehension. In Antarctica, the calm of the surface coexists with extraordinary dynamism beneath, reminding us that appearances are often incomplete and that truth exists in layers. To contemplate Antarctica is to reflect upon the continuum of time itself. Ice cores, extracted carefully by scientists over decades, offer glimpses into atmospheres from hundreds of thousands of years ago, preserving dust, pollen, volcanic ash, and trace gases that narrate Earth's climate history. These frozen cylinders of layered snow are, in essence, archives of millennia, compressed records of environmental events long before human footprints touched the planet. Within them, abrupt shifts in temperature, traces of ancient atmospheric composition, and preserved signs of life offer stories that are at once familiar and alien. Each layer of ice is a page, each sample a paragraph in a narrative spanning eons. And yet, even as we read, much remains indecipherable, shrouded in complexity, as though the continent itself guards its most profound secrets. Fossil evidence, equally compelling, speaks to a time when Antarctica was green, alive with forests, rivers, and perhaps even creatures not yet imagined by modern science. Fossilized plants and hints of ancient fauna remind us that the continent we know as frozen wasteland was once warm, vibrant, and teeming with life. These remnants raise profound questions. How did ecosystems adapt as temperatures plummeted and ice sheets formed? Were there species that survived in isolated refuges beneath glaciers, their lineages persisting hidden from the world for millions of years? The ice preserves these mysteries in suspended animation, a quiet testament to life's resilience and adaptability. Every fossil and every subglacial discovery becomes a bridge between what was, what is, and what might still exist beneath the frozen surface. The human experience of Antarctica, from early exploration to modern research, underscores the interplay between knowledge and mystery. Early explorers faced unimaginable conditions, blinding storms, sub-zero temperatures, and weeks or months of isolation with only their companions and courage for company. They navigated with rudimentary instruments, mapping coastlines and observing wildlife, often uncertain whether their next steps would lead to discovery or disaster. Modern expeditions, though equipped with advanced technology, drones, radar imaging, and satellite data, are not exempt from Antarctica's challenges. The continent's environment is harsh, unpredictable, and imposing, demanding humility, patience, and reverence from those who seek to understand it. This duality, human curiosity pitted against natural extremity, frames much of Antarctica's enduring allure. The mysteries of the hidden world beneath the ice remain some of the continent's most compelling features. Subglacial mountains, isolated valleys, and lakes untouched for millions of years hint at dynamic geological and hydrological processes still in motion, invisible to the eye, but detectable through instruments and careful observation. Magnetic anomalies challenge our understanding of Earth's crust, while unexplained shifts in ice structure reveal processes that may have occurred in deep geological time. Each anomaly is a question mark, an invitation to wonder, and a reminder that Antarctica's story is ongoing. It is a continent where knowledge and curiosity coexist, where every answer leads to more questions, and where the boundaries of exploration are constantly being redefined. Environmental implications add another dimension to reflection. Antarctica is not merely a static archive of Earth's past. It is a living system whose ice, climate, and ecosystems have profound influence on the global environment. Ice sheets regulate sea levels, glacial melt impacts ocean currents, and subglacial lakes may harbor unique life forms that challenge our understanding of resilience and adaptation. Even minor changes in temperature or ice stability can ripple outward, affecting rainfall, storm patterns, and ecosystems across continents. In this context, the continent is both mirror and sentinel, reflecting Earth's history while silently influencing the present and the future. The apparent stillness belies a deep, persistent power. Philosophically, Antarctica invites reflection on human limitations and the nature of knowledge. In a world dominated by instantaneous information, global communication, and scientific precision, this remote land reminds us that some mysteries endure. Knowledge is never absolute. It is layered, tentative, and evolving. The continent's frozen silence offers a kind of meditation on patience, encouraging the recognition that answers may come slowly through careful observation, persistence, and imagination. Antarctica teaches humility, that the Earth's processes far exceed our comprehension, that time is measured not in decades, but in millennia, and that the pursuit of understanding is as important as its attainment. Even as science illuminates more of the hidden continent, speculation persists, not as a failure of rigor, but as a natural complement to curiosity. Lost maps, ancient legends, and theories of civilizations or ecosystems long vanished remind us that human wonder extends beyond what is verifiable. The imagination is a necessary companion to discovery, allowing us to explore possibilities, formulate hypotheses, and remain open to surprises. Antarctica's mysteries invite a balance between analytical reasoning and poetic contemplation, a rare harmony where curiosity, observation, and reverence intersect. As the mind lingers on the icy plains, one senses a profound temporal and spatial perspective. Antarctica's ice sheets, subglacial formations, and hidden ecosystems extend beyond human scales of time and comprehension. They encourage reflection on the ephemeral nature of human life against the backdrop of Earth's vast history. In this vast silence, we are reminded that our own histories are brief, that knowledge is incremental, and that wonder is eternal. The continent becomes a mirror, reflecting not only Earth's physical past, but also humanity's enduring desire to explore, understand, and contemplate the unknown. Finally, the frozen expanse calls for a quiet, contemplative reverence. Antarctica is not merely a geographic location. It is a state of awareness, a meditation on time, resilience, curiosity, and humility. Its ice, mountains, valleys, and hidden lakes invite us to slow down, to observe, and to embrace the unknown. Its mysteries are enduring, not as barriers to understanding, but as invitations to wonder. The continent reminds us that the Earth story is far from fully told, that some secrets are preserved in silence, and that the act of listening to ice, to history, to time itself, is as valuable as the act of discovery. In leaving Antarctica in our imagination, there is both closure and openness. The continent remains unchanged by our observation, yet our perception of it has deepened. Its lessons linger. The importance of patience, the beauty of mystery, the interconnectedness of all life, and the humility demanded by a world far greater and older than ourselves. Antarctica stands as a mirror of time, reflecting past epochs, present mysteries, and the infinite possibilities of discovery that await the patient, the curious, and the contemplative. It is a land of contrasts, a land of secrets, a land that teaches us to look beyond the obvious, to honor silence, and to embrace the unknown with awe, respect, and wonder.